when I started playing, there was no really practice routine at the time. I was just listening to music and really, really being inspired by it, transcribing everything I can by ear. I didn't even know theory when I started. So there was not really practice routine, but I think that the one thing that I took, it was very natural for me to create in my life, is that I didn't really need any motivation, to practice. It was something that I was so eager to wake up, have my breakfast and get to work with music, that that passion kind of made a natural continuity of things to evolve in my playing over the 20 years I've been playing. Um, that said, as as times went by, I did find how I developed kind of like a self awareness of what I personally want to focus on, and also, as you get older, you don't have 10 hours a day like when you're a kid. So yeah, so let me talk maybe a little bit about what I practice these days, especially since these pandemic times. There's way much, and there's much more time at home. So for me personally, right now, my focus points, um, after going really intense into modern playing and fusion and stuff, I've made a decision for the next few months. I'm really going deep into bebop, rhythm changes, Charlie Parker, and also um, balancing this with playing Bach partitas and sonatas. This book, which is an amazing book, and the reason I'm doing all of these focus points with Bach and even transcribing Parker is because I really want to get a deeper focus on my articulation, something that don't think I ever really focused on, you know, um, in a very methodical way. So that's very personal for me. Another thing that I always keep in mind is, if I'm practicing a few subjects, I always have a main subject. Like, for me, maybe it can be transcribing Charlie Parker. That can maybe take 60 minutes a day. And I always then have smaller subjects. So that can be maybe 20 minutes on this, 20 minutes on another subject, maybe 20 minutes on the Bach. And I try to go through that in kind of like a structured way. So maybe I can start with the Bach and then move on to something smaller, take a break, and then do the other stuff. So yeah, and the thing is, it's very, very personal, and it really, really changes from one person to another. And I always try to find some time at the end of the practice to just immerse myself in the overall freedom of the music, and the you know the spirit. Um, so that can be maybe just after practicing and feeling warmed up, maybe just playing a tune and trying to make it like it's a live situation, just actually playing, and maybe recording myself. That actually has been really helpful. Recording snippets of myself playing, sometimes uploading into Instagram just to feel the wave of sharing, which is a big part of being a musician. The community, kind of like accountability sides of things. um, that's a little bit a rant of that. Let me read some um, cool notes from Hal Crook, How to Improvise, which is a great book. Well, let's see. So he talks here at the beginning of the book about practicing. The best advice I can offer about getting positive results for practicing is this: spend a lot of time on a few topics every day, or spend a little time on many different topics every day. So, spending a lot of time on a few topics every day, that kind of makes more sense to me. But I did hear some, some players that I really appreciate that told me that they have like 3 hour practice that is like built of 15 minutes chunks. Experiment with that. Maybe that's good for you. Um, and there's much more over here. He says, clarity of mind while practicing has a direct bearing on how much you retain, learn, and improve. That also is something that is worth mentioning. That clarity of mind. If you approach, if you have an hour and or 2 hours, you gotta find a way to really really focus. So sometimes, before I even start my routine, I just play one note on the guitar, really go deep and just listen to that one note and try to make it as beautiful as I can. Maybe adding another note, then kind of just warming the fingers up, maybe, approaching and playing some type of scale just to really dive into the focus before I just, you know, really go intense into practice. So that's something, if you practice and you're in a rush or in a hurry, you're not really gonna get the results you're after, as if you are very focused and relaxed and immerse yourself in the bigger picture and the longer process. And he even says something, he quotes a um, Zen master said, if you're in a hurry and practice 2 hours a day, it makes 5 years to learn something. If you are in a hurry and practice 5 hours a day, it may take 10 years to learn something. And if you're in a hurry and practice 10 hours a day, you may never learn anything. Being in a hurry means your mind is in the future. Regardless of how much you practice, you'll never retain enough to learn something if your mind is not where the learning takes place in the present. So that was a quick wrap. I don't know if it was helpful for you. Please let me know in the comments wherever you're watching this from. And if it's on YouTube, make sure to subscribe and like. If it's on my website, make sure to check out the other posts. And that was this topic. And thanks for tuning in. And I'll see you next time.